What is up, everybody? Chris and Link channel here. Welcome back. Link's in school again today. Well, that's all right. We've got a few things we're going to do without him. Today, we're going to tackle changing the fuel filters on the old Dodge. So, it's 2018 Ram 6.7 Cummins, and there's two fuel filters on this sucker. So we got one that's under the hood here on the engine side of the block. And it's like a plastic canister that takes this element here. The extra O-ring is for the lid. And then we've got this other canister style here. It's a spin-on. This one here, which takes the water and fuel sensor, which is on the frame of the truck under the box. So today we're going to show you guys how to do both of them. Let me grab some gloves and some tools and we'll get into it. All right, well, first off, guys, if you are working on a big diesel truck or a lifted truck or something, these aluminum steps are worth their weight in gold. Well, maybe not quite, because gold's heavy and this is aluminum. Whatever, you got what I'm trying to say. They're so handy for working on trucks. We get right up in here. Okay, so step one on doing this fuel filter is, you can see, put the flashlight in here. So there's the canister right here, okay, behind the wiring and everything. Just get out of the way. So this is the canister right here. And we got to drain that before we open the top up so we don't make a big mess. So there's the yellow drain valve right here, and it even clearly says right on it, open. You can see there's a hose that comes off of it there. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a drain pan and we're gonna put it down underneath. Here's a tip. If your drain pan doesn't, because you could kind of see, the hose is gonna just end up pouring all over the diff, the front diff. So if we can't wedge a drain pan up inside there somehow, what I'll do is I'll get another piece of hose and I'll jam it either over top or inside that hose to extend it down to the drain pan. Let me go grab a drain pan. We'll get this thing draining and we'll go on to the next step. All right, guys, well, you can see that I got a funnel wedged up in here under the breather tube for the front diff. So the filter drain is pouring into the funnel, and then the funnel is going into my drain pan. So we're gonna let that sit like that for a while. We might crack the lid to get it to drain a little faster, but we're not really in a hurry, so I'd rather not make a mess. Okay, guys, so the top of the filter housing, I've got an 1.1/8" socket there. It could be metric, but the metric ones that I have are 12 point, not a 6 point. So I'm gonna use this 1.1/8" so that I don't round the corners off, because the cap is just plastic. And I just got my 1/2" ratchet on there. Ooh, it's a little hard to do with one hand. It's pretty tight, actually. I don't remember putting it on that tight. I'm the guy that did it last, so it's probably my fault. Ooh. Hang on. We may have to cut to two hands here, and I'll get that off, and then I'll come back to you guys. Hang on. Okay, so we got the top of the filter housing here is all loose. The filter element should stay connected to the top of the lid, I believe. I don't know, maybe not. I can't remember now. It's supposed to do this every 24,000 kilometers. So, oh, there we go. It's not connected. So you guys can see the filter housing's off, the cap, and it's pouring a bunch more out the drain. So we're gonna let that drain. And it sounds like it's leaking all over the place too. Damn it. Okay, well, maybe I should have just cracked the lid and let it drain some more. There's a quick tip for you. If you don't want to spill diesel all over, just crack the lid open while you're draining. All right, guys, I'm going to get this out of here. I have to put the camera down. Like I said, Link, my little buddy's in school, and I need both hands here. Hang on. All right, so we got the cap off, guys. And you can see that we pulled the filter element right out. It's done draining, so when we go to put the new one in, it's not going to splash everywhere. But I want to show you guys. See how it's got the oval shaped hole in the bottom? So that's something that you got to orient with the post inside the filter housing itself, right in the top there. So that should just slide right in. And then of course we have this extra O-ring. The extra O-ring is meant to go right down here. If I can show you guys, right down here on the groove of the filter housing, so that the lid will seal on top of it there. And then you only torque the lid to, like, I can't remember, it says right on it, we'll look after, but I'm gonna put the filter in, the O-ring on, and then yeah, so should just go slip right in. A little easier now that I've got deleted the truck and the EGR and everything is all out of the way. So there we go, we just want to line up that oval piece and we want to push that down all the way. There we go, it's seated in place and that's exactly how it fits. So that's done. The O-ring we're going to slide on. You want to be careful you don't knock any dirt or anything into the housing when you're doing this. So the O-ring will slide onto the outside. This is difficult with one hand. Make sure we put this on, and you got to make sure you seat it in the right place. I've done this before where you've seated the O-ring on the threads instead of the O-ring groove on an oil filter housing, and it made a mess everywhere. Okay, so my hands are covered in diesel because they're on the threads, and that's what I want, because I'm going to smear it around this O-ring so that way the O-ring will seal on the lid when we put it back together. Right now, before I forget, I am going to close this valve because I'm done with draining the diesel and I don't want to lose any more. Oh, come on. What the f... Okay guys, so we had some technical difficulties with the GoPro. I'm trying to GoPro for the first time, doing these little videos instead of my phone. Anyway, okay, so we got that all ready to go. So let's put the filter housing cap back in place. We're just gonna tighten it up. It's just plastic. You gotta be careful. You don't wanna crack this thing, right? And it probably says on it right there, 30.5 Newton meters. And I know I'm Canadian and we do everything in metric around here, most things, but I don't know what Newton meters is. So I'm just gonna snug it, and because there's an O-ring and it's not really under that much pressure, I don't wanna crack it. So I'm just gonna go until it kind of stops and then I'll call it good. So, yeah. Ooh, a step almost slipped out. Okay guys, I think that's gonna be good enough. Yeah, so that's that one. We will grab the tools and stuff out of here and we'll move on to the rear filter. All right guys, so if you have a look, here's the filter on the back of the truck. This is under the box, so you can see there's the rear diff and the drive shaft, and I've got this handy hose that I've cut. I think I cut it too short, but anyway, to reach up to the filter on the bottom drain here. So the guy should be able to just turn this valve and direct the hose properly. Let's see if I can do this with one hand here. So if we the hose directed into the drain pan, I should be able to open her up and start. Oh geez, I'm gonna get diesel everywhere. Holy crap. Okay, we need to reset. Hang on. Okay, I think that's it now. Let's see what we're looking at here. I'm on the creeper and I can direct this hose and open this valve, and we should be able to start draining this filter. Oops, wrong way. Lefty two-seat. Yeah, here we go. There we go, you guys. So just gonna open up this valve and let her drain through this hose into our drain pan. So this way we're not going to make a great big mess everywhere. Let's see here. I'll bring you guys in for a close-up. So there you can see, got the valve open, diesel's draining down through the hose into our drain pan. All right, I'll come back to this when we're done and I'll show you guys the next steps, which is going to be disconnecting the water and fuel sensor and taking the filter off. Then we got to switch the sensor to the next filter and just reassemble. It's easy. All right, so it's done draining. Next up, we're gonna disconnect this water and fuel sensor because the wire goes to the bottom of the filter, and it's easier to change this sensor over to the other filter on the workbench. So you just push the clip like, yeah. I said you just push the clip. There we go. So that's unplugged. Now, with this wire out of the way, we can get a proper band style filter wrench on there. So let's grab our wrench. We'll slip this sucker off and then we'll get on to the next step. Okay, so we got our band clamp. And you guys know how to use one of these. You've all seen them before. So I'm not going to show you how to take this off, but I'm going to take this off right now. And then we're going to take it up to the bench. And once we get it to the bench, we'll swap over the water and fuel sensor. So this is what I was talking about, unplugging it so we can get the wrench up there a little easier, right? Okay. All right, I need 2 hands for this. See you at the workbench. Okay guys, so I don't know what size of wrench that is, but it's 6-sided and I've got these cool pliers that have the notch for the jaws for doing stuff like this. So we're just gonna put that on there and we're gonna unscrew this water and fuel sensor carefully because we don't want to crack it either. Oh boy, of course it doesn't want to go. Right when I'm trying to film, eh? I should have loosened this off before I started so that I look like a hero. There we go. Got her broke loose. Okay. So this is going to come all the way out. And we're going to put it in the new filter, spin-on filter. That's pretty well it. One little tip is this connector for the water and fuel sensor, it kind of went into the drain pan a little bit. So I'm going to just use some brake cleaner and then blow this out so that I don't know if the diesel is bad for it. I don't think it is, but I just don't want it to collect a bunch of dirt and junk and everything while it's, you know, underneath the truck there. So it makes it easier for the next time I go to take it off. So yeah, I got this filter housing on the bench because it's got a plastic protective cover, and you can see it comes with the new O-ring for this water and filter sensor. So we'll change out the O-ring, put it back in here, install it on the truck, start the truck, check for leaks. So if you don't have any of these little picks, these things are awesome. So we're going to use that to grab this O-ring and just pop it right off. You're no bueno. We don't like you anymore. Got the new one. Slide this down. Again, we'll make sure that that fits into the O-ring groove. And it's all covered in diesel already. You guys can see inside, that's the little drain valve. So we want to make sure that that's closed. So if you turn it this way, it comes off the seat. So we want to turn it back the whole way. Don't go too tight because you don't want to over tighten it and possibly crack something. You just want it to seal on the gasket. Okay, so that's done. We'll put this back into the filter. I'm sure you can notice I've got a clean paper towel because I don't want to get any junk or anything in the filter or on the filter gasket, the O-ring there. So put this in. Wipe my hands because they're full of diesel. Sorry about the sniffles, guys. I got a bit of a cold. I'm just trying to get over here. So we'll tighten this up. And again, because it's got an O-ring and this is just plastic, we're not going to over tighten. See, it's like snug, it's seated, and that's going to be good enough. So there's that. Now let's grab a little bit of brake cleaner, and we're going to clean out this connector. I'll do it away from the camera. Should be wearing gloves for this. Kids, if you're doing this at home, wear gloves. Brake cleaner is bad for your skin. It's probably a carcinogenic too. Everything's carcinogenic nowadays. Okay, so if you want, you could even put a little bit of dielectric grease in there. So I don't know. We'll see if we do that or not. But anyway, next we're going to put it back on the truck. Okay, so we've got the truck in the on position. It's a stick shift, so there's no push button. And we've got the filters are both empty. So what we're going to do is we're just going to push in the clutch and bump the starter. So you just kind of turn the key till the starter bumps. And then I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the GoPro, but you can usually hear the fuel pump run and try to build up pressure. So let's see if we can get it to go. I don't know if you can hear that. It's whirring away. So we're going to do that a few times, and then we'll see if we can get this thing to start. Oh, I got my edge. I wonder if I could look up to see how much fuel pressure I've got. Okay, so the whirring stopped from the fuel pump. We're going to do that one more time. There it goes. It's whirring away. And the sound is changing. You guys probably can't hear that. So I think we've got fuel up to the engine. Let's see here. I know this isn't the greatest video, but here, this is how I got my edge set up. Those 6 gauges. And the whirring stopped. Let's see if we can start the truck. Just like that, guys. We got the truck running. Perfect. All right. I'm going to put the camera down, grab the flashlight, and we're going to go check for leaks everywhere. And then we're going to talk about the filters for a second. All right, guys, so that's it. I checked the truck while it was running, and there was no leaks whatsoever. So this baby's done. Oh, you have to excuse the furnace kicked on. I was talking to my wife on the phone, and I don't have good reception, so I had to open the door and let all the cold air in. Anyway, truck's done. Fuel filter change is complete. Yeah, if you have any questions, hey, look who it is, everybody. There's Link. Say hi, buddy.
Hello.
Just finished up with school. How was school?
Great, actually.
Good. All right, so I just want to say that make sure you record when you do your fuel filter changes, especially if your truck's on warranty. Use Mopar filters. I did not use Mopar filters because they're really expensive. And you know, I went with a cheaper one, but it meets all the standards. So we're going to call that good. And then don't forget to reset your fuel filter minder on the dash. It tells you when to change your fuel filters. Now I know you guys are thinking like, hey Chris, why don't you go with an aftermarket style like Caterpillar spin-on filter or fast drop-in filter system or something? And I thought about it, but the cost of those is about $700 Canadian, which is really expensive. Whereas these two filters I picked up through my mechanic friend for about $100. So I do these filters every 24,000 kilometers, and that means I can do 7 filter changes like this for the same cost as upgrading the filter system. I'm not turning the truck up, I don't think. I think I'm just gonna leave it at stock power levels with, well, whatever we got in the tunes for it now. So if I was gonna crank it way up, then yeah, I'd look at doing a fast or, you know, some other filters. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and
We'll see you in the next one.
all right, take care, guys.